Okay, we come back to continue our studies. Some monks outside the south have been pouring oil on the fire. One of these is Maha Apichat, or Pramaha Apichat, the 30 years old monk of the Mahanikai temple, Wat Benjama Bopit in Bangkok. I'm talking about the years of the incident, who in October 2015 launched a call on his Facebook page to burn a mosque for every Buddhist monk killed in the south. His call elicited many reactions both in support and in opposition until the military government forced him to take his page down. His call reminiscent of Kittiwutto's words in the Cold War. Okay, in the Cold War, in the time of the Cold War, there was one controversial monk. His name was Kittiwutto. He claimed that, and he also giving his religious decree, something like that. Just like for Muslim giving fatwa, giving the religious decree that there is no sin to kill a communist, because in Cold War time there was a Vietnam War, okay, and Thailand also volunteered to send military troops to fight the communist forces along with the American troops, and also there were the communist activities in many parts of Thailand, especially in northeast. So he tell the Buddhist public that there is no sin to kill a communist, okay, something like that, okay. It is testimony to the views on political violence of some within Kana Song. If Buddhism is attacked, then violence is justified on grounds of self-defense. Pramaha Apichat and some other radical Thai monks have established bridges with ultra nationalist Myanmar monks led by Ashwin Viratu, who has been advocating violence against the Muslim Rohingya living in western Myanmar close to the borders with Bangladesh. The setting up of Buddhist volunteer militias in the south, like Orobo, just like Orobo, อาสาสมัครรักษาหมู่บ้าน Orobo Village Protection Volunteer under the patronage of the Queen Sirikit has also fed Buddhist chauvinism and anti-Muslim hatred. According to the field interview by Duncan McCargo, the volunteers are armed and trained not only to defend their Buddhist villages, but also in preparation for a future civil war when Muslims will launch large-scale attacks to drive Buddhists out of their home en masse. The long-standing campaigns to make Buddhism the national religion in the constitution has been fed by the violence against Buddhists and especially against monks in the south, which has given these campaigns new momentum. For the southern Buddhist monks who consider that the official Sangha hierarchy is too slow to act and have formed their own as so they consider everything is very slow, very late, and also it will be too late to save them, and also to save Buddhism in the area. They then form their own association. For instance, the Center of Buddhist Affairs in support of the Southern Three Border Province or CBA. The violence committed against Buddhists and monks in Yala, Pattani, and Narathiwat, as well as in several districts of Songkhla, is proof that Buddhism is under threat from Islam in Thailand and needs special protection. In 2015 and 16, petitions circulate in temples across the country, and some monks ask their temple's followers to sign it in fiery anti-Muslim sermons. The Dhammakaya temple has been especially active in these campaigns to gather signatures to make Buddhism the national religion, as well as to help Southern Buddhist monks, sending them monthly relief funds and sending monks in the region for temporary stay in order to fill the vacant seat, vacant place, and it's vacant because of insurgency and unrest. So they feel that this is the Buddhist state. Okay, they do not consider and they know nothing about that the area was once former Malay Sultanate and enjoy Thailand to make new modern nation state. They were thinking that each and every place is the Buddhist kingdom, Buddhist empire. Okay. So each and everywhere must be a Buddhist temple, and the Buddhist temple must not be vacant. There must be monks appointed over there on duty on times. From here, see their fear.
มุสลิมเขาประกาศมุสลิมเขาประกาศครองโลกด้วยประชากรนะครับเดี๋ยวนี้เพราะฉะนั้นในประเทศไทยนี่เขารุกมากยุโรปอเมริกาจะเห็นว่าคนอพยพจากซีเรียจากไหนไปที่ไปอยู่ยุโรปนั่นมันแผนทางการเมืองที่มูฮัมหมัดกัดดาฟีอดีตผู้นำของลิเบียเคยประกาศไว้ว่าต่อไปนี้เราไม่ต้องประกาศศาสนาด้วยหอกด้วยปืนด้วยสงครามแต่เราจะประกาศด้วยประชากรเพราะฉะนั้นประชากรมุสลิมจะเข้าไปเต็มภาคพื้นยุโรปและรุกไปถึงรัสเซียรุกไปถึงแคนาดารุกอเมริกาประเทศไทยเขาไม่พูดเขารุกในทางลับเพราะว่ามันหนาแน่นด้วยประชากรพุทธแล้วพุทธก็เข้มแข็งพอสมควรเพราะฉะนั้นเขาไม่พูดแต่ว่าเขาทำนะครับผมมีคลิปวิดีโอแต่ผมไม่สามารถใช้ให้ท่านได้ดูได้ผมดูคนเดียวผมรู้แล้วมาบอกกันแล้วกันว่าเขามีเป้าหมายที่จะทำดาวะคือทำงานเผยแผ่ทุกครัวเรือนในประเทศไทยตอนนี้ก็ทำแล้วไม่ใช่หมายเฉพาะ3จังหวัดภาคใต้เท่านั้นณวินาทีนี้เขากำลังสร้างมัสยิดกลางที่นครศรีธรรมราชแข่งกับวัดพระมาธาตุวรมหาวิหารทุนรัฐบาล300 ล้านไม่ใกล้กับบ้านโยมผมเนื่องจากว่าผมไม่มีบ้านเป็นคนโฮมเลสผมไม่มีบ้านนะผมจึงบอกว่าบ้านโยมพ่อโยมแม่ผมก็เสียหมดแล้วแต่ว่าเขาสร้างไม่ไกลนะครับเขาเก่งมากๆเราจะสร้างวัดอย่างนั้นไม่ได้อีกแล้วยิ่งขอเงินรัฐบาลเนี่ยอย่าหวังเลยแต่เขาขอรัฐบาลไปสร้างมัสยิดกลางได้ที่สงขลาประมาณ400 กว่าล้านเขาสร้างใหญ่โตอันนั้นมัสยิดกลางสงขลาแล้วก็มาสร้างที่นครศรีธรรมราชใจกลางเมืองหลวงจะเขาทำได้ทำไมเขาจะไปสร้าง นิคมอุตสาหกรรมฮาลันที่เชียงใหม่ผมก็มีเครือข่ายมีมาคุยกันอยู่บอกว่าไม่ควรจะให้สร้างวัฒนธรรมเชียงใหม่มันดีอยู่เลยแล้วถ้าสร้างนิคมอุตสาหกรรมทำไมไม่สร้างชายทะเลที่มันไม่ต้องขนสินค้ากลับมาส่งออกอีกเชียงใหม่มีมุสลิมกี่คนแต่เขาคิดอย่างนั้นเพื่อจะขยายอาณาจักรอาณาเขตเขาไปอยู่ครอบครองเชียงใหม่เขาสร้างแรกๆเขาอาจจะเอาคนชาวพุทธในเชียงใหม่เลยเข้ามาในโรงงานพอเสร็จแล้วเขาบอกว่าโอ้ยทำก็ไม่รู้เรื่องไม่รู้วัฒนธรรมฮาลาลนั้นต้องเอาคนจากที่ไหนก็ได้มาเป็นพนักงาน
Oh, some more. Some another one. Mm.
ตอนนี้ชาวพุทธตื่นตัวเรื่องภัยพระศาสนากันอย่างกว้างขวางนะครับส่งผลทำให้ใน Facebook ใน LINE ใน Twitter Instagram เนี่ยแชร์กันเรื่องภัยพระศาสนากันอย่างกว้างขวางทั้งเด็กรุ่นใหม่ก็เริ่มตื่นตัวเห็นภัยแล้วนะครับเพราะสิ่งที่อปปส.ชมรมพิทักษ์และสมาพันธ์หรือองค์กรพุทธต่างๆออกมานำเสนอเนี่ยมันเป็นเรื่องจริงทั้งหมดไม่ได้โกหกเพียงแต่เป็นเรื่องจริงที่เมื่อก่อนไม่มีใครกล้านำมาพูดแต่วันนี้พอ
Do you see the documentary, the clips?
Yes.
Okay.
คนกล้านำมาพูดบวกกับพลเอกเปรมซึ่งเป็นลูกพี่ใหญ่ของมุสลิมเนี่ยได้เสียชีวิตมันก็เลยไม่มีใครที่จะมาเป็นแบ็คมาคอยหนุนมาคอยดูแลทำให้ความจริงต่างๆที่ซุกอยู่ใต้พรมเนี่ยผุดขึ้นมาหมดเลยมันกลายเป็นหลักฐานที่ชาวพุทธได้เห็นถึงการเอาเปรียบถึงการเห็นแก่ได้ถึงการปล้นนะมีทั้งกฎหมายมีทั้งออกพรบมีกฎหมายมีธนาคารอิสลามมีเครื่องหมายฮาลาลมีทุกอย่างที่มุสลิมเอาเปรียบคนทุกศาสนาแล้วไม่พอแค่นั้นครับยังคิดจะยึดประเทศไทยยังละโมบโลภโมโทสันยังได้ใจนะครับเพราะฉะนั้นสิ่งต่างๆเหล่านี้ประเทศไทยโชคดีเป็นอย่างยิ่งที่พลเอกเปรมได้เสียชีวิตไปก่อนทำให้พระสยามเทวาธิราชท่านได้ทำหน้าที่ได้ทำงานทำให้ลูกหลานพระเจ้าตากสินลูกหลานองค์ดำนะครับได้ตื่นขึ้นมาเพื่อ
ลัทธิศรีถนนชัยหรือลัทธิอุบาททะเลทรายเข็นฆ่าชาวพุทธเรามามากพอสมควรแล้วสิ่งที่น่ากลัวที่สุดตอนนี้ก็คือความกลัวเราไม่มีอะไรที่จะน่ากลัวมากไปกว่านี้อีกแล้วชาวพุทธทั้งหลายตื่นกันเถิดตื่นมารับรู้และก็ยอมรับความจริง ลัทธิอุบาททะเลทรายเข็นฆ่าพระสงฆ์ผู้บริสุทธิ์มาเท่าไหร่แล้วเข็นฆ่าชาวพุทธเราที่บริสุทธิ์มาเท่าไหร่แล้วฆ่าได้แม้กระทั่งครูตัวเล็กๆครูจุลินซึ่งเป็นแม่พิมพ์ของชาติลัทธิอุบาททะเลทรายก็ยังเข็นฆ่าได้ดูซิว่ามันเหี้ยมโหดอำมหิตขนาดไหนก็พิจารณากันเอาเองนะคุณโยมล่าสุดก็เอาอีกแล้ว18ศพที่ยะลาคิดว่าทุกคนทุกท่านก็คงจะรู้
Jesada Buaban's recent and through studies of several Facebook pages set up by Wat Prathamakaya has demonstrated that the temple has deftly managed to use the southern conflicts to garner the support of Buddhists and to undermine the campaigns to reform Buddhism launched by the military government since 2014. Dhammakaya has consistently emphasized that the reform campaigns led by Phaiboon Niti Tawan to audit the asset of and levy taxation on all temples and ensure doctrinal conformity with Orthodox Theravada Buddhism would undermine the Khana Song and facilitate the rise of Islam in Thailand. Dhammakaya goes so far as to speak about a concert campaign by the military government and Muslims to weaken Buddhism. It has also used this as an argument to ask for Buddhism to be made the national religion of Thailand, so that it can get more government support. According to the number of likes and comments on these Facebook pages, the temple's tactic has been quite successful. There is indeed a deeply rooted belief among numbers of Dhammakaya lay followers that there is a long-term Muslim plot to take over Buddhist Thailand. To push the push to make Buddhism the national religion, so Buddhism and the constitutions. Every time a new constitution of Thailand is drafted, and you know very well, many times we do have a lot of constitution. Unlike India, only one. After the independence, only one, okay, and never change. Some Buddhist association, for instance, the Buddhist Academic Association and the Voluntary Buddhist Council of Civil Society, launched a campaign to have the future constitution stipulate that Buddhism is the national religion of Thailand. So far, these efforts have failed, but each time, particularly in the two last constitutions, these conservative groups have gained some ground. For instance, in 2007 Constitution stipulated it in its section 79 state that the state shall patronize and protect Buddhism, which the majority of Thais have followed for a long time, and other religions. The words which the majority of Thais have followed for a long time were an addition compared to section 73 of 1997 Constitution. This was a concession made to the radical Buddhist lobby, who had unsuccessfully pushed for Buddhism to be made national religion. But the traditional mention of the importance of promoting religious harmony was written in section 79 of the 2007 Constitution, as it had been in most of the previous constitutions. Radical Buddhists made more progress with Junta's 2016 draft charter, which was approved by referendum on August 7, 2016. So this time section 67 went further and stipulated that with a view to patronizing and protecting the Buddhism, which has long been professed by the majority of the Thai people. The state shall promote and support education in and propagation of the principles of Theravada Buddhism for the purpose of mental and intellectual development, and shall establish measures and mechanisms to prevent the desecration of Buddhism in any form. The state shall also encourage the participation of all Buddhists in the application of such measures and mechanisms. This constitutional call to Buddhists to participate in the protection of Buddhism and the prevention of the desecration of Buddhism understandably made Thais of other faiths, Christians, Protestant, Catholic, Muslims, and in particular the Muslims of southern Thailand uncomfortable. Buddhism was this time clearly put at a level superior to other religions. One indication of the Muslim discomfort was the very high number of no vote to the draft charter in the southern province during the August 7, 2016 referendum, as well as the high number of defaced and spoiled ballots. The draft section 67 went even further and completely dropped the traditional call for religious harmony. The military junta apparently realized, when analyzing the referendum result, that something was amiss and that there was a high risk of increasing discontent among the Muslims. Thus, on August 22, barely 2 weeks after the referendum, Prayut Chan-o-cha issues an order under Section 44 of the Interim Charter, which gives him absolute power for the good of national security, trying to correct the effects of Section 67 of the draft charter. The order set up a panel to prevent acts which threaten Buddhism and other religions, and mentioned this time the duty of the state to promote good understandings and harmony among followers of all religions. This affirmation that the state must protect all religions equally, according to the words of Deputy Prime Minister General Pravit Wongsuwan, went some way to reassure believers of other faiths, but the confidence of Muslims in the attitude of the government towards them has been eroded. The debate on Buddhism as national religion. The promoters of Buddhism as the national religion are mostly found among monks linked to the red shirts, which may be surprising as they may appear to be more progressive. Wat Prathamakaya is a strong supporter of the campaign, as is Phra Methi Dhammachan, the Vice Rector of Mahachulalongkorn Buddhist University. Phra Methi Dhammachan, as is Phra Methi Dhammachan, the Vice Rector of Mahachulalongkorn Buddhist Universities. Their argument is based on several grounds. The first is cultural. Buddhist nationalists justify their call by the fact that Buddhism has for many centuries played a dominant role in shaping Thai cultures and the Thai ethos or Thainess. They often make comparisons with other countries to make their points, emphasizing for instance that Islam is the official religion of neighboring Malaysia, even if only 55% of Malaysians are Muslim, because the rest will be Chinese and South Indian Tamils. Okay. And the number of Chinese was very great, very big. Therefore, Malaysia has to sacrifice Singapore. It has to cut out Singapore in order to reduce huge number of Chinese and make the number of Malay citizens more significant. So this claim is as same as for the radicalist Hindu in India, that there are countries that state that Christians is its state religions, maybe in Western Europe. Okay. And many countries, many republic state that it is the Islamic Republic, just like Islamic Republic of Pakistan, Islamic Republic of Iran, okay, and now Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. But there is no a single country that to state that it is the republic, the Hindu Republic. And Hindu is one of the very significant religion, very one of the oldest religion. But Hinduism has no place to be declared as the state and official religion. Therefore, their duty to make India the only seat, the only place for Hinduism, and to declare India to be the Hindu Republic of India. And also another claim is that to be Indian in a very deepest sense is to be a Hindu. So here's same thing. To be a Thai in a deepest sense is to be a Buddhist. Okay. Second, promoters of Buddhism as the state religion argue that it needs protection because there is a threat from the desert religion, the desert creed, the desert cultures. Okay. For them, Buddhism is being weakened by the aggressive of Thai Muslims, illustrated by the killing of monks and lay Buddhists in the south, as well as by the rise of criticism against Buddhism, as shown in the Somdet Chuang case, and finally by the lack of discipline and misbehavior of some monks. The opponent to making Buddhism the national religion are a more diverse group. They include virulent anti-Dhammakaya monks like Phra Phutta Isara, but also more moderate figures like the forest monk Phra Phaisan Visalo, or forest monk Phra Wat Pa, okay, and many lay Buddhist intellectuals such as Suvarna Sattha Anand, Sulak Sivalak, and Sulak Sivalak. Most of them emphasize that making Buddhism the national religion will embolden Buddhist radicals and increase the tensions between Buddhists and Muslims. For them, the linkage made since the 19th centuries between Buddhism and the nation is at the root of many of the problems in the religion. Buddhism was made a tool of a Thai state, which create a gap between คณะสงฆ์ and peoples. Since 19th century, it means since the time of signing the Sir John Bowring Agreement, making Thailand a secular country, a western country, a modern country. But Buddhist will be the mainstream for its spirit, its cultures, its traditions, state ceremony, royal ceremony, and also to be the spirit of being a Thai. So from 19th century onward, the Buddhism was used as a tool for political benefits for the regimes to run the state, to run the countries. And in the time of Jomphon Paul, it also was used as the tool to Thainization the countries and to promote the ideologies of nationalism at the time of Second World War, at the time of the emergence of the emerging of Japanese Empire, Japanese nationalism, and Thai also follow the thing. And Buddhist will be a better tool and also easy tool for the regime to pick up and use. Okay, as you have seen by that. But at this time also, so this thing since 19th century to 20th century, this action and exploitation and utilization of the regime to the Buddhism have corrupt the conditions of the Sangha of คณะสงฆ์ by what you call by fulfilling to them fundings and also rankings and positions, worldly position. Then decades and decades, they with their ordination, they used to live in such an environment of earning funds, earning of support fees, earning promotions, earning ranking. So it has changed the spirit of becoming monk from the true Buddhist teaching that you have to detach from worldly properties, you have to detach from worldly position, you have to end your expectations. But many who ordain to become a monk expect to earn more, expect to earn higher position. Yes, and they are so proud when they interact with someone to classify that yes, I'm now not in own position. I'm now เจ้าคณะอำเภอ okay. So after 2 years, after some years, now I'm not เจ้าคณะอำเภอ anymore. I jump to the rank of เจ้าคณะจังหวัด. It's so quite different between อำเภอ and จังหวัด. Okay, it means they with the robe, with the saffron robe, with their monkhood, they also add fuel in expectations. But the true Buddhist teaching, we have to end expectation, ending expectation, and also detach from worldly position and worldly properties. So the state has corrupt their psychologies, corrupt their cultures, corrupt their behaviors, corrupt their environments, and use them as the tools, the tool for the sole benefit of Thai state. Okay. In their view, the fact that Buddhism is de facto the dominant factors in shaping Thai cultures is enough, and there would be no advantage to have a constitutional section imposing Buddhism as state religion. This would even be an admission of failure, as it would be an acknowledgement that Buddhism has weakened so much that it is not able to positively influence Thai society. Thus, they think that the priority should be to better explain and promote the essence of Buddhist values and more widely of religious values in Thai society, rather than to adopt legal protection of Buddhism. You can see a difference between the Christian families. A Christian family, whether Roman Catholic or Protestant, each of every members of a family inclined to their church. They have a strong relation with the church. They go to the church each every Sunday, unless they have emergency work or very important duties that he or she may absent for only few times. Otherwise, they will go to the church, to the Sunday mass and service. And not only one, each and everybody in the church will prepare a specific special clothes for Sunday mass, for Sunday service. From grandfather, grandmother to nephew or great grandnephew, they will go together to the church. They get their marriage ceremonies first begin in the church. Yes. Their joyful events in the church. Their sorrow and grief and events in the church. And for Muslim also, each and everybody inclined toward their local mosque or the mosque in their localities. They go there, especially for Muslim, not only for Sunday and not only for Friday, but good men, pious men go to the mosque 5 times a day or more than 1 times a day. Okay. And then their children pray in the mosque, study in the mosque, study the religious duties, the religious elementary teachings, the basic religious teachings in the mosque from a very childhood to teenage. Like that. They held their marriage ceremony, their marriage functions in the mosque. Their joyful events in the mosque. Their grief and sorrow events in the mosque. So strong relation with the mosque. Okay. Go to the mosque for them is a blessing time and joyful time. For the Christian, going to the church is a joyful times and blessing time. But for Buddhist families, they do not go to the temples because they consider temples to be place for bad luck people. The place only to cremate their dead bodies. So it's not blessing atmosphere and not blessing occasion to involve into the temples. So this thing, and also the Christians family, they do pray together in each and every day and night, some morning or evening, or at the time of dinner, yes, lunch and dinner, they pray together. And for Muslim, they also recite the pray, the dua for each and every meal and also in each and every actions. But for Buddhist families, they eat, they enjoy food, and they do not pray. They do not remember any mantra, any dhamma versions. Okay. So this is a great difference and quite difference between. So think that we can Buddhist society not from Christian and not from Christianity, not from Islam, but they weak within themselves that they do not train their new generation to realize the Dhamma and to grow up as a good Buddhist. Thus, they think that the priority should be to better explain and promote the essence of Buddhist values and more widely of religious values in Thai society, rather than to adopt legal protection of Buddhism. So better to train new generation to grow up and become good Buddhists. Bring them to the temple. Rearrangement the atmosphere of the temples, okay, to become place of joyful, to become place of good luck, to become place of prosperity for one's life in seeing the truth, seeing the Dhamma, and seeing the value and the moral value. Better than to safeguard the Buddhism by encourage the military force amending the laws to protect Buddhism. Okay, we have ended our today's lesson. It's very good topics concerning our own society. Is concern our present and our futures of Thai society and of our countries. And what we have learned in this subject, we begin with the emerge of the West to rule the world. Yes. And the forcing behind the emerging was that they were humiliated in the last crusade wars. They lost the war to the Muslims, and they considered that the Muslim world was more advanced than them. So they have to equip themselves, reform themselves in order to compete the Muslim world, and they managed to do so. So they spent 2-3 centuries, maybe 4-5 centuries during the Renaissance to reform themselves and also alter themselves, change themselves from the very religious and backward people to become more scientific peoples, spending life with rationalism, okay, and expert in science and technologies. They then make the revolutions in trade and industries, build the powerful ships and vessels to cruise the world, cruise the oceans, and capture the Muslim world. But they have made better preparations, so they were having more powers. The power they used to utilize to capture the Muslim world remain. So they use the remain of their extra powers to rule the world, capture China and some other place, okay. And then impose upon their colonies and the land they rule with the Western ideologies, secularism, westernizations, materialism, and up to and democracy and to liberalism. Okay. Thus, it weakened local religions, different religions in their colonies, in the areas they colonized. Okay. And also they have using the theory of divide and rule, just like for the case of India, that Hindus and Muslims, they were unite together. Of course, each and every people must have some minor conflicts, not very serious conflict in old times. Conflicts were there, but not so much serious. But with the implementations of divide and rule, yes, they have instilled the hatred between the two communities, and then end up with the divisions of the countries, partitions of India and Pakistan. Thus, it results into the serious worry and serious hatred from the Hindu side toward the Muslim, that the Muslims gain and gain. They have taken our motherlands to build the Islamic empire, the Islamic state, the Islamic India, the Republic of Islamic India, which is known in the name that in the name of Pakistan. Okay. And for India, for the remainder parts, remainder lands, the British has educated our people to favor secularism and name the country as the Republic, the Secular Republic of India. Therefore, the Hindutva and the Hindu radical movement emerged in order to protect Hinduism and support and promote Hinduism, and to change this the secular build and the secular legacy of the British Empire, alter it and change it and establish it to become the Hindu Republic of India. And from that the inspiration the inspiration spread to neighboring country. They try to convince peoples in Sri Lanka to do the same, and from Sri Lanka to Myanmar to do the same, and from Myanmar and Sri Lanka to Thailand. The same psychology, stereotype of fearing the Muslims. And then the case of secularism and colonialism, we have learned about the case of Egypt, okay, and the Malaysia, that the country emerged as a true secular countries. But the Islamic movement and the Islamic revivalists in the country have day by day struggled to Islamize the country, pushing the country go close to become the Islamic society. Okay. So this is all about our studies about religions and the global politics. Okay. So is there any questions concerning today's lecture as well as the previous lectures? Yes.
Then, like, may I ask about like today's lecture?
Yes.
Like, what is the current relationship between like Opposo and like Tapakai like, right now? Like, because I think I'm quite familiar with the guy who is the spokesperson of Opposor, like wearing a fancy hat. I think he is one among the followers of Thamakai, like in the past.
Yes.
So what is the direct relationship between them?
Yes. Most people, as well as journalists and academicians and scholars, believe that there is a strong relationship between the guides and the temples, as well as we have learned in some slide that the temples actively launch many programs to support Buddhism, to promote the welfare of Buddhist people, and to safeguard the Buddhist legacy in Thailand. And their aims is to have the statement in the constitution that Buddhism is the state religion of Thailand. So I think the temple run such activities, okay, and did the conspiracies until the temple faced some pressures, and also strong and serious pressures from the government, as we know that the government searching for Luang Por Thammachayo, this and that. That's why the temple have to reduce its activities, and also involvement in the field of politics. So this guy that you mentioned, one of the leaders of Opposor, also separate himself from the temples, okay, to become independent in the eyes of the public, okay, and actively do many activities on his own will and wish and his own struggle, okay, not to show the public that nothing linked with the temples, but his own worries, okay, his own concern. Then he began to approach some significant person, and then some of those persons agree with them, okay, and establish this organization or this group in the name of Opposor, and some other aligned groups like กลุ่มพิทักษ์พุทธศาสนา this and that กลุ่มพลังแผ่นดิน this and that. Okay, is that clear? My answer, is that clear to you? Okay.
Yes, very
okay.
clear. Thank you.
Okay.
Like, and then another question, what is the response of also more National Human Rights Commission? Like, I think one of the commissioner, like of the current batch, I think he is a Muslim, like Ajahn Suchat, I think. Like, what is his response toward this particular topic?
You see that before Ajahn Suchat, there was a wife of Thanai Somchai, huh? Okay. There were Muslims in the committees, okay, but we have to realize that the Thai society in general realize that majority of Buddhist people is that they are peace-loving peoples, and they are very friendly to foreigners as well as to others religious communities. Okay, this is the natures of Thai peoples. So the activities of Opposor and activities of those radical movement does not influence more and more, does not influence many people in Thai society. And also, so their activities, what we have see what we have seen and listened from the clips and videos in YouTube look to be very, very serious. But the government, the security personnel, the military forces, as well as the human rights committees consider their activities, their radical activities, their hate speech, to be in limitations, less influence to the societies. Means their activities is still far from serious inflammables, and also not welcomed by general Thai peoples. And in the arts of politics and in the art of administration, they can allow them to do the activities until they are alarmed that their activities is growing beyond, is about to grow beyond control. They then will do some actions. Okay. In my opinions, in my observation, in my studies. Okay. That's why the security men allow them to roam the countries. Okay. And you know that those who are influenced by their claims, by their arousings, are now aged people, above 40s, and more people are 50s. More of their followers are above 45, average 50 years old. And young generations, Gen Y and X, never interest in their activities.
Yes, I agree with you. Like,
Okay.
if anyone who is, I think, safe, who is sound and rational, like they will be
Yes, yeah.
this kind of video,
Yeah.
like, ridiculous.
It looked to be a joking also for young people. Okay, joking. Okay, so, not very serious for them. And young people in Thailand are educated. Yeah? More people are educated and also globalized, and their interest fall in some other things. Okay, in job, in selling things online. Okay, in become อายุน้อยร้อยล้าน something like that, and so many things interest to them, not this thing, as well as the most important thing is that the result of signing the Sir John Bowring Agreement within 100 years, it has changed Thailand, make more people secularized, make more people materialist, and also allow new generation to appear with no religions, the atheists. Okay. The atheists emerge perhaps only in the new millennium, not before. Before only individuals, but after the new millennium, after year 2000, they began to emerge, okay, significantly in young generation in Thailand, in Thai society. Okay. Yes. Okay. If there is no other questions, so I will repeat you about the examination. Examination will be for 5 questions, and you select only 3 to answer the questions that you like it and you know it very well. Okay, it's a take home. Then along with that is an assignment, not more than 3,000 words. Anything, any topics, anything concern the subject, concern within the frame, the arena of course descriptions. We have not talking here about, we have not touched the feminism, something like that. So you can do so, or you can make comparison between the Islamic movement, Islamic radicalists of any particular country, and the Buddhist radical movements. Or you can study about the Thai Buddhist radical movements or something, or anything concern you, or anything you like. Okay, is clear to you?
Yes.
Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, thank you for the time we were together in the studies of this very interesting subject. Yes.
I do have a little question, like asking for your opinions. Do you think that videos that like all the monks said, or like people said that like Islam's gonna conquer Buddhism in Thailand is a little bit like aggressive, or like they're like lonto or something like that? Because like Thailand's like tend to portray itself as pluralism society. So I don't think it's weird for Islam to have their religious place in either like Chiang Mai or the northern place.
The people who appear in the videos, or that I some of the videos I select to display it to you are just only example for those who suffer with the Islamophobia. Yes, this is the type of Islamophobia in Thailand. But the Islamophobia in Thailand is still limited within some certain groups of people, especially among the Buddhist monks, because there are Buddhist monks. Okay, to speak frankly, okay, and also academically, okay, most of them, because I know very well. I used to teach in the program studies of comparative religions in Mahidol. Okay, I retired from that, and the comparative religions. So as teachers, we used to discuss together that generally monks do not understand the actual social positions. Generally, many monks do not understand the social phenomena, the developments of the society and also the world. Okay. They just like they do live in some certain world, in some certain environment. Therefore they can become easy prey to rumors, okay, and some fake news. Okay. So when there are some activists, roaming from one place to another place, visiting one temple to another temple, and discuss with them, and convince them to believe, so they then can easily believe. Yes, they can then easily believe. But thanks to the development of the Thai society situation, that the society is living in the secular environment. Yes, and Buddhism is quite weak. Or as we have seen, we have learned from some slide that there is some what to call there is no good relations between the monk societies with the public. Okay, as you see, there are great numbers of Buddhist temples in Bangkok, in many localities. Okay, but people in the localities do not have close relation with the temples. They will go to the temple when someone die to for the cremation, this and that. They are walk and pass through the temples. Okay, but no connection, no social relations. Okay, unlike Christian church, unlike the Muslim mosque, that's why the communities of monks who believe these rumors, who believe and trust these fake news, they fear Islam. They suffer with Islamophobia. They speak out. They cry out in order seeking protection for Buddhism. Why the actual conditions, the real environment, the real atmosphere does not realize the thing. The society does not believe the rumors, does not trust, does not believe that fake news. So the Buddhist monks and also Buddhist communities, just like the isolate communities, they just only run and active within the aged peoples, 40 ups, 40, 50 ups, only that. Okay, and they have no influence to the surrounds community, surrounds society in their localities as well. Okay. Okay, it's clear. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, and hope for you the best in the examinations. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, bye bye. สวัสดีครับ
Thank you ครับ
อัสลามุอะลัยกุมค่ะ
วะอะลัยกุมสสลามวะเราะห์มะตุลลอฮ์วะบะเราะกาตุฮ์
Recording stopped.